What is up, everybody? Welcome to Barrel Age Flicks. We have a nice, interesting show today with an interesting movie that Goot picked that he is hosting today. We are doing the movie Rare Exports. This is something that I've been curious about ever since he picked it because I've never heard of it. And this sort of was, I think, me and Adam's first time watching this. So I'm going to hand it off to Goot because we're going to do the drinks first. Our normal tradition in our show for this Christmas series that we've been doing. Goot's got something different since he's over on the other side in West Virginia. So me and Adam did something the same, but it's close to it because I think they both have cranberries in it. So I'm going to lead it off to Goot. What do you have, buddy?
Oi, hello everyone. So I'm tonight's concoction. I've made a. So I did an infusion with dried cranberries, fixed vodka from Houston, Texas,
nice.
And peppermint candy canes. So I had it out in a mason jar, infused that for about 4 days. Yeah, 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
And it tastes like Christmas. So I did about 1.5 ounces of that. I mixed in a toasted barrel this time of toasted bourbon, and I had my Krabby's ginger beer, and I made myself a Christmas mule.
Damn. Is it in the Moscow? Nice. Is it in the mule cup, copper cup? Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh, I like how it's a mug. Nice. That is nice. All right, well, let's go ahead and have him review his drink first. That's got to be good.
I've been playing a lot with infusions, and goodness gracious, it makes a huge difference. Like that. It tastes like Christmas. I feel like it's snowing right now in my mouth. It's just magical.
And you said it had cranberry in it?
Dried cranberry, yeah.
Dried cranberry with
sticks, peppermint candy canes.
Yes, peppermint candy canes. I'm trying to think with peppermint and cranberry as a mixture. I don't think I've ever had a drink mixed like that. Does it actually work out pretty good?
It's so fresh and refreshing. I feel like I'm outside just like in snow, and like this, it's snowing. There's like spruce trees all around me. It's magic.
That's nice. That's nice. So is this something that you came up with yourself, or is this is something that you got online or something like that?
I've seen variations on the Christmas mule, but I said, you know what, I'll make my own infusion and play with it.
Okay. So this is your
yes.
Gotcha.
Because nobody uses a toasted barrel bourbon, so
yeah.
It adds a whole unique level of complexity to it. It's definitely a 2.
Shout out to your Any Given Sunday episode that you did where you brought that Elijah Craig toasted bourbon. That was I think it was toasted. What was it?
Barrel.
Toasted barrel. Yes, that stuff is good. I have a bottle of that on my bar, and I fucking love that shit. So, so you give it a 2?
2 all the way.
Okay, awesome. I kind of want to try your drink because I'm really curious what peppermint and cranberry mixture together. I don't see that, but if you're saying it tastes like Christmas, then it's got to be good. So
yeah, I'll bring it. Definitely sounds different.
Yeah, it's so unique. I've never tasted this before, and I love being creative with different mules. I'll bring it for the Secret Santa event. That way you guys can try it.
Awesome, good. That'd be awesome to have. So we can try that out. That'd be great.
Damn it, I won't be there. Oh well.
Oh no, yeah, you won't be there.
And I'll be there.
Yeah, Adam is the only one that's gonna be out. He's gonna be in a little stream for that one. So
I'll be in Ohio. So
yeah. It's going to be all a good time. I think it's going to be fun. Yeah. All right. So the drinks that we got, something more simple. no infused stuff or like that, because I couldn't figure it out, because I wanted to do what he had, but he was doing it for a couple days, and I just found out about it like I think a day or two before this. I was like, we'll just do our own little cranberry drink. His is the winner though. Ours is kind of like a mimosa, I guess. It's a cranberry Christmas cocktail. That's basically what I've seen it online. I found it and it looks simple. It's got a half a cup of cranberry juice and a half a cup of champagne, with a rim of cinnamon and sugar on the top, basically with the orange juice from the oranges, because you have to take orange peels and put them inside the drink, and you take the cup and put it right on the orange juice, rim the cup. Now, the funny thing is, Adam, you did cinnamon and sugar, right?
Yes.
See, I didn't have any cinnamon. So no, this is the funny thing. Sammy kept saying, "Oh, I got cinnamon. I got cinnamon." I said, "You better have cinnamon." And then about 2 hours before the show, I was like, "All right, so where's the cinnamon?" She couldn't find any cinnamon, but she said, "Hey, but you have this cinnamon toast powder, so, the cinnamon toast crunch powder. We actually have like a little thing of that." So I mixed sugar with that because that has cinnamon in it, and it actually came out.
If you had that, you probably didn't have to add sugar to it. It probably already had sugar mixed in it.
Way too much sugar.
Yeah, I know. This is diabetic in a cup right here, but it worked. It turned out pretty good. I mean, I see this rim, and the rim came out good, but the orange peels were a bitch. That doesn't. They're just floating in there, looking all dead and everything. His is
that's
more stylish.
That's what we got going on here.
His is more stylish. So, all right. Well, bottoms up. Let's go ahead and try this out.
Right.
Oh wow, that's actually good.
Mm-hmm.
And it tastes like Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereals inside my cranberry drink. It seriously tastes like, yeah, it does. Wow. That is, I wouldn't say Christmassy, but it's good. I mean, well, cranberry can remind you of Christmas, can remind you of Thanksgiving. And I'm a big fan of cranberry.
Well, yours is essentially a breakfast drink since it's Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I just picture, the picture of the captain with the berries inside of it. Imagine.
Yes. Oh, right. Man. It's not bad. Adam, what do you think?
No, mine's really good. Anna, Anna gave me her score before I brought it down. So, but no, I give it a 2. And Anna said it's really good. She gave it a 2.
The more I'm drinking it, and I'm not even a champagne person, but the champagne I think just gives more of the bubbly and a little bit of alcohol in it. Very low alcohol content, but I think Goots has got more of the alcohol, especially with the bourbon in there. I would have loved that though. I can't.
It's straight alcohol.
Oh, yeah. You're bringing that to the Secret Santa. We're all gonna have a cup of that shit.
So you mentioned cranberry. I did a cranberry for our Thanksgiving episode, but it's different with the peppermint candy cane and then the toasted barrel. It has a whole different infusion to it. It's a whole different complexity.
Well, you use wild turkey bourbon in that one, right? And the one for Thanksgiving, right?
Yep.
So if you had to pick between the two, which one do you like better?
Both of them. Drink that for Thanksgiving. This for Christmas.
All right, so you got an equal drink right there. So you got one for each each holiday. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I give mine a 2. I am I enjoy it. It's very sweet. The rim actually helps a little bit. Gives that mine's almost like a cereal taste though because of the Cinnamon Toast Crunch powder, but it actually works out pretty good. A good morning holiday drink. How about that?
Right.
Something to drink in the morning on Christmas morning when all the kids are opening the gifts and you just want to just lay back and just relax while they're doing their thing and drink some of
Cinnamon
this.
Toast Crunch.
Exactly. Drink Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So, yeah, so I think we all knocked it out. But I think Good is the winner because his is more involved, especially with all the infusing and stuff like that. Infusing is always fun with things, just like we did bacon infused gin for Stu's Porky show. That was fun. That was tasty. But I don't think it's as tasty as what his is because Goot's drink is on the key. I can't wait to try it on Friday. So,
heck yeah.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and get into the details of the movie that Goot picked. Now, I'm going to say this flat out. I can't say these names that well.
I've been working on it, so don't worry.
So I might let you do the cast. I'll let you do the cast because I'm going to fuck up on those altogether. So Rare Exports is a Christmas Tale was released on December 3rd, 2010 in Finland. Directed by
Jaromir Helander.
Thank you. A Finnish filmmaker apart from Rare Exports. He worked on the following notable projects here, which he did Big Game, which I've heard about, never seen.
So
Sis-
the lead actor for this, Jorma Tormala,
yeah,
the guy who played Sisu, he's in that movie as well.
he's also in Sisu, right? You said.
Yes, he's in Big Game. This is his first movie he was in. He acted in.
Oh, really? So it looks like he's a common one used with this director then, because
Yeah,
he also did the movie Rare Exports Incorporated back in 2003, and he
it was
also
a
did
short.
and he also did Rare Exports: The Official Safety Instructions in 2005.
Yep. So
So
those two combine this story.
I kind of wish we watched those. I didn't know anything about them until I started getting the details. Are they available anywhere?
I haven't seen them available.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's something I can like download online or something like that. So, the budget for Rare Exports: A Christmas Tale is not definitely stated and is not available in sources. It was modestly budgeted as an independent film. It grossed about 4.9 million worldwide, with 3.85 million from international markets and only $236,347 domestically. So it didn't do well in the States, but it was distributed through a U.S. by. I actually know these because I remember I bought some Blu-rays through this and stuff like that. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Oscilloscope. You ever heard of that?
Sounds right.
Yeah,
No.
Laboratories.
Oscilloscope.
Is that how you say it? Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
And I've
oscilloscope.
seen them affiliated with a lot of indie films, like really cheap films and films that you don't see on the radar basically. But when I saw the intro when watching this, because this was actually available on Amazon Prime, I was like, oh, I know that. I've seen that before. I've seen a movie with that intro before. So Rare Exports Christmas Tale has a 90% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes critical score, but the user score is at 65%. So it's actually a well-loved movie. It's at 65 is not bad. So users altogether do like this movie. Thing is, I've never even heard of it. I'm gonna go ahead and pass over to Goot for the cast because I'm not touching that shit.
So the cast is pretty much all finished. The scientist is the only Englishman there. He's Jonathan Hutchings, playing Brian Green.
Mhm.
But the main guy that everybody would know from here is Jorma Tormala. He's in the movie he plays Ranu. He's obviously everyone knows him from Sisu.
Yeah.
Apparently, I was looking at his IMDb credits as well, and the next upcoming movie is Sisu 2. I'm like, it got greenlit for a sequel. I'm like,
Oh, wow.
yes.
I've seen him in another movie though before. The thing is, I didn't look at his IMDb. I'm sure he's been in a movie before that I've seen because he looked very familiar to me.
He's been in obviously Sisu, Rare Exports, the Christmas Party in '96,
No, I've never seen that one. Never seen that
and
one.
then Big Game.
Yeah, that's the only ones that he's been in. Interesting, because he looked very familiar.
Those are like the most like the they say like these are the movies you're known for.
Yeah.
So those are everyone else is like Finnish. I've never heard of them before. Have you heard of Priest of Evil?
Sounds familiar.
Well, that was 2010 as well. So mostly Finnish stuff he's been in.
Interesting. Well, is
And
there
then,
any other cast members you know of here?
So the kid, I don't know anybody else.
How about
I thought I knew
the side guy with the beard, the one that got bit in the ear?
his name is Ranu Jovinen.
Okay.
He plays Papirian. He's like the reindeer hunters. I've never. I thought I knew Juso, Yorma Yarpava.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I knew him, but he just had a familiar face. I guess his tone of talking, but it's actually funny. They have listed a majority of the elves in this movie. So
that's a lot of
names.
fucking old dick running through the mountains elves, and they have a cast name for every single one. I thought they would just put them like old man old one 1, old man 2, old man 3, or Santa's little helper. Technically,
there's main elf, and then Pathari's elf, and then all of them are just elf.
I assume the main elf is the one that they capture, and that's in the butcher shop, right?
Yeah, that's Peter Jacobi.
Okay.
But yeah, I guarantee you, if you watch this movie, you will never look at the stupid elf on a shelf ever again the same way.
You got a good point there. That is funny. All right.
And then
speaking of that, have you seen the new Snoop on a Stoop stuff?
No.
Oh God.
Snoop on a stoop?
Yes.
Oh yeah. It's got like a Snoop Dogg. It's fucking stupid. I never cared for the elf on a shelf crap. It's stupid. See that shit all over social media. It's like I could live without it. It's some new trend in freaking Christmas time now that I've
Yeah.
never been a fan of. So other movies to come out around the same time. We actually got some decent movies here. We got The Chronicles of Narnia, The Voyage of Dawn Treader. We also have Tron Legacy, which I actually enjoyed. I actually thought that was a decent movie, other than the bad CGI on the recreation of Jeff Bridges. But other than that, I enjoyed it. Then we also have The Tourist, which I think is the Johnny Depp flop that came out. The Fighter, which is a very good movie. I'm sure Goot knows about that movie with Mark Wahlberg. Great movie.
Christian Bale. Yep.
Yeah.
Christian Bale.
Oh, yeah. Amazing acting. I think he won an Oscar for that one, I believe.
Amy Adams. Fantastic cast.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a great movie. And a good director, too. He's actually done a lot of great movies. The Coen Brothers remake of True Grit, which I was wondering if you actually liked that one, because I know how big you are on the Coen Brothers with the No Country for Old Men. Did you like True Grit?
I do. I appreciate it. Can't take away from what John Wayne did. So what Jeff Bridges did, I thought he killed it. Holly Steinfeld did an amazing job. I mean, congrats on being engaged this past week.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Matt Damon, just a fantastic actor.
Oh yeah, Matt Damon was great in that. He was good.
I mean, just the chemistry that him and Jeff Bridges had was just phenomenal. I love it.
Jeff Bridges played a good Rooster Cockburn like really, really, really well. I thought he was a good job, but he doesn't replace John Wayne whatsoever. I mean, John Wayne won an Oscar for True Grit, even though I feel like it was more of a giveaway because he hasn't won an Oscar, but it still was a good role for him. There's other roles I actually enjoy him better in. The other movies to come out is Yogi Bear. I don't remember that one. Gulliver's Travels, and then Little Fockers, the Ben Stiller, Robert De Niro comedy. So I believe that's the third one with kids and all that stuff. So, but yeah, that's all the movies that came out. We did our drinks. That's the end of the details. So we're going to go ahead and take our quick break, and we will be back to talk about rare exports, which I'm really curious to see what information we got from Good on this one, because this was truly an interesting movie. So, okay, guys, we'll be right back.
All right.
Hey, having a hard time trying to stay up, trying to record these podcasts late at night?
Or are you up late, working, driving trucks, working in the shop, trying to provide for that damn family of yours?
You need coffee.
Well, let us tell you about this one company we got right here. It's called Coffee Bros. Now, they got a very select blend of different roasts: light roast, medium, dark, espresso. Now, each one of these has its own flavor profile.
These two brothers from New York made this amazing company with an amazing coffee that you could order online.
So you just had the espresso roast.
Yes.
And did that thing wake you up?
I couldn't go back to sleep. Oh, man. It was smooth.
Nice.
It had that nice chocolate taste to it. You could just taste the chocolate.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't give you that bite like other coffees do.
Or bitter.
No, definitely not bitter at all. This is smooth, sweet, aromatic. This coffee here will absolutely wake you up when you need it to.
The coffee here is dedicated to freshness, quality, and consistency. Use the code BAF10 to get 10% off your entire order. The link for the website is in our show description. And I'm telling you guys, it's worth it. This coffee keeps you awake, especially for the late podcasting that we do.
Yeah, it's very much needed.
Try out Coffee Bros. Coffee Bros! All right, guys, we are back with Barrel Age Flicks after that nice little break, the Coffee Bros commercial. Hope you enjoyed that. We're going to go ahead and get back to this movie that Goop picked, which the one question I have to ask first is, Goop, why did you pick this movie? What made you want to pick this movie?
So, I mean, honestly, I'm not that big on like Christmas movies. I like finding stuff that has like a true sentimental value it moves me. But I actually discovered this movie about 3 years ago. This director, Dylan Narang, was talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you get it.
Yeah.
I don't.
So he was talking about that movie, and I was like, wow, I've never heard that movie before. And it was available on Peacock. So I watched it the next night, and I was blown away. I'm like, this movie is it's a different story from the traditional paradigm of Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's true to his Finnish roots. It's a true Finnish movie, and I thought this is great. Even with the subtitles, I mean, it's fun. It's a fun movie, so I enjoyed it. I like bringing to the table like Christmas movies or any kind of movies that have like true sentimental value that I think that the audience and other people could watch it and like. So. Now, this is your first time watching it. I have to know.
Yeah.
Well, one thing is that it definitely was intriguing. And it was in Finnish. Is that how you say it? Finnish?
Finnish.
It wasn't Finnish, but in the beginning of the movie, it was American. I was like, oh, so this is going to be, mix of American and Finnish. Subtitles movies don't bother me. To me, it makes it more realistic, especially because, when they ever have like, German movies or something like that, they always have British actors playing it with the British accent and it doesn't sound realistic. This sounds more realistic because it's that language. So I actually liked it that I couldn't see this being played like by British actors. This actually worked well with the subtitles. I actually enjoyed that. But the nice thing about subtitles is that makes you pay attention to the movie because you have to watch the subtitles to know what the hell's going on, to see what they're saying and stuff like that. But this was definitely a eye opener for me. Something that I never expected, but it was something different, and that was the nice thing about it. Just a lot of naked men. That's that part. That part.
So fixated on that.
Because that part, I'm sorry. I was not expecting that in a Christmas movie. I mean, I saw one, and then you saw like 30 or 40 or 50 of them. I don't know how many there were. And I was like, okay, there's a whole bunch of old men naked and they're Santa's helpers. What the
brings on a whole new meaning of Jingle Ball.
Exactly. But
so do you guys think the elves were immortal, or do you think they were kidnapped or drawn by Santa Claus to that area?
I think they were drawn by Santa Claus. They were definitely immortal because being out in that cold weather and everything else, and eating raw meat from out there, and just running around naked in the snow, not even shivering. Basically, they were just out there. There was something about it. Were they buried in that hole?
They must have been buried. When the explosion happened, so Santa Claus was so covered in the sawdust to preserve him in the frozen ice.
Yeah,
they were let go first. That's why all the reindeer were killed because they were eating.
Yeah, which I did notice because I know that these guys were reindeer hunters, to get meat for their village and stuff like that. And the father of the child, I'm not going to say the names. I'm going to let Goot do that part. It was a butcher, basically. He saw him slaughtering the pig and told his kid to keep his eyes closed because I guess the kid didn't. Kid doesn't want to see an animal getting slaughtered or cut up and stuff like that. But it was
what I could figure out was okay. And I don't know if you were going to get into this or not, but what I was trying to figure out was, were the elves were they human and then somehow through a transformation became elves? Because wasn't the guy, was his name Brian Johnson, whoever the guy who was working at the scientist, right? Was he the one, or did the elf have his ID? And if he had his ID, where did he have his ID on him? Because if the elves were naked, because didn't they found the ID with the elf in the hole?
Yeah, because he had a jacket on.
He had a jacket on.
He had one of the workers' jackets.
Well, so that's what I was trying to figure out. So the elf put on one of the workers' jackets.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was trying to figure out. I was trying to figure out if that's what happened, or if somehow through some kind of transformation, somehow they slowly transformed into it or something like that.
I think they were just immortal. I mean, it's one of those MacGuffins that carry the storyline that have no meaning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It just adds to the story.
I wish they went down into the cat, like it showed how they pulled him out. Like, what were they doing? Buried in little blocks of ice around basically the Krampus looking character for Santa, basically. Where were they in the tunnel? Were they just down there just, waiting for somebody to open it up? Or, I mean, what was up with that? That's what I guess it's one of those unanswered questions.
That is true. I can only speculate, but yeah, that sounds like a good answer.
Yeah, I figured they were like in blocks of ice and, they were let loose and everything else because at start it was just one. But then you realize they were all over the whole village because they were stealing all the radiators for the to melt Santa Claus.
Yeah. So you bring up Krampus a lot. So this movie this came out in 2010. This actually inspired a Christmas story in Krampus, which BAF has done these 2 episodes. Episode 122, A Christmas Story, that Chase hosted, and episode 51, Krampus, I believe you, Ron, hosted.
Yeah, Krampus, and it wasn't a Christmas story; it was a Christmas horror story. Yeah, I think he did last year, which had the whole story of Krampus and everything else, and
the anthology. So this movie, it kind of like inspired it, but in Finnish folklore, Santa Claus is known as Julepokia.
Okay.
Which translates like the Christmas Yule goat. This figure has like evolved throughout, over time, like blending pre-Christian pagan traditions with the Christian and modern interpretations.
Yeah.
So the Yule goat has a goat connection. So the original Yulpikia was not known as a jolly gift giver, but somewhat of a frightening figure who's associated with the Yule goat, a pagan symbol of fertility and protection, and often represented as a goat-headed spirit or a person wearing a goat costume. So you can see, toward the end, you see that huge mound of ice. You see the horns.
Mhm.
Right.
That's the reference to the Finnish folklore of Yulpikia. So the
I
early depictions have him as more menacing, but he would demand gifts from people rather than delivering them.
Mhm.
So his visits were like sometimes seen as a test of morality.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool.
I thought it was crazy. It was one little thing that kind of turned me off on the movie a little bit is the fact that you never got to see it. You saw the mass inside the big ice, and you saw the big horns, and those horns are fucking huge to the point where they even grabbed and cut them off and took them and everything.
Cut
But
it with a chainsaw.
yeah, and the thing was
Souvenirs, baby.
fucking massive. But the fact that you're
Yeah.
saying that this movie inspired the Krampus movie that came out in 2010, I believe,
2011.
2011, yes. Big, and are you a fan of the Krampus movie? Do you like that movie?
Me or Adam?
Goot, you. I'll ask both of you. I'm just curious. Do you like the original Krampus movie with that's I believe it's directed by the same guy who did Trick or Treat?
Yes.
Yeah.
Forgot his name.
Fuck. I'll look it up. Go ahead.
Give me a second. Adam, you go first.
No, yeah, I like Krampus. I enjoyed it.
Thought it was a very
Mhm.
different take on Santa Claus
Mi-
being,
Yeah, definitely.
punishing the
Michael
naughty.
Doherty.
Yes, Michael
But that-
Doherty.
So that's the story of Krampus, though. He's there as to punish you if you blast Christmas.
Yep.
So I love the movie. It's on my rotation, my yearly Christmas viewings. I just my son, who's 8 years old, he's been like asking me more and more to watch horror movies.
That's
So
awesome.
I let him. I let my wife was out, so I let him watch The Nightmare on Elm Street together. He
Really?
wasn't scared. He wasn't scared. He thought it was so cool, the concept behind it, the nightmares.
Yeah.
The other night we watched Krampus together, and like he was like blown away. He was like, "That is so cool!" Like him, like jumping over the house to house, like the rooftops. He
Right.
loved it. So
Here in I'm actually letting my daughter watch Krampus for the first time this year because my oldest daughter has been the same way as your son has, wanting to watch horror movies with me. And she's like, "Daddy, I want to watch movies with you that you like." I let her watch The Thing. She enjoyed it. She enjoyed The Thing. I let her watch Alien and Aliens, and I told her that Aliens is like my number one favorite movie of all time. Is one of her favorites now. She loved it. So, and my I think Sammy opened her up to The Shining. Let her watch The Shining for the first time. So she's getting to see this whole
Nice.
world of horror movies that we grew up on. So I think Krampus is cool. And so you let your child watch Rare Exports?
he watched he watched the beginning of it.
Uh-huh.
That when the elves came, I knew they were coming, so I told him to go away.
The
so
naked
when,
Krampus.
Covers his eyes.
So when they showed the big block of ice, I paused it and I let him see that, and he was like, "Oh my god, that's like 8 times the size of Krampus.
Yep.
Who's bigger, Papa?" I'm like, so I was like, "Yeah, he's pretty big here."
Yeah, I would have loved to see him. I would have loved to see what he would look like, but because you saw the book that the kid had in the beginning when he was looking at the whole history of basically, which I didn't see the name. I don't even remember the name Krampus being said in the movie. Was it?
No,
No.
never mentioned.
But when you see the picture, you're like, oh, that's Krampus. That's what it is. I mean, the horned and the goat creature, like you were talking about, that's what it looked like. It kind of reminds you. But I really think it's cool. And it actually raises points on this movie that this inspired Krampus. I had no idea. Because now that's like a wide phenomenon to the point where it's even in Disney movies. I mean, it's, what's the Santa Claus series with Tim Allen that came out? I watched some brief episodes. I wasn't into because I love Tim Allen's The Santa Claus, the original. It's a good movie, but there's a part where he's going against Krampus, or there's a Krampus scene in there. So I was like, wow, Krampus is everywhere now. It's like a trend now for Christmas, and it wasn't before when I was a kid. So
Yeah, I don't remember it like when I was younger. I'm the old fart. Years ago.
yeah,
So yeah.
was this your first movie that introduced you to a Krampus character? Goot?
On the mainstream level, I mean, Krampus the movie itself was my first time ever seeing that character.
Okay.
But like folklore history, I love like studying like just like mythology of all these characters that come to be
Yeah.
and how they change throughout the times, like I was saying with the Polyakia. Um, but it's always fascinating to see, like to hear where they come from and how their origin of it. So you have obviously have Santa Claus good, and then you have Krampus, German the bad. If you're bad,
Yeah.
just good comes to bad. So, well, I say Krampus my first time seeing on the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like a whole new adaptation to it because it's a different country of origin
Mm-hmm.
telling their like Christmas story.
Now, there's one thing that you've always said about this movie that you've said many times in front of Stu, and how you feel like this movie is represents a father-son figure, basically.
It's a father son bonding. Like this movie is an all male cast. I think you see a female in the beginning of the movie. There's one female lady there at the camp, the little town.
Yeah, yeah, there is. Yeah,
So, but the speaking line. So, I mean, it's kind of funny, but it's an all male cast. There's no other women in this movie. But it's a because unfortunately in today's woke society, there's not many good illustrations of the father and their son, their kids,
yeah.
type of depictions.
Right.
And I felt this movie was fantastic for the times. Just if our fans want to watch it, I think it's a good movie to watch if you're your dad with your son. I mean, obviously skip the freaking elves, but
Yeah, I can't show this one to my daughter because I was like I was watching this as I think my daughter could handle this, and then you see a bunch of group of old naked men. I'm like, it's pretty prolonged too. Running in the fucking mountains. That was a cool looking scene though, where you just see like a herd of naked men in the mountains, like just climbing the mountain, just chasing the helicopter with the sack of kids. Basically, I thought that was really cool. You could definitely tell the sci-fi channel CGI though. It was a little rough with the CGI, but
Yeah.
that doesn't always hurt a movie. I mean, like I said, that's just because it's a limited release. It's independent film, so they don't have as much of a budget. We already said what the budget was, but for what it was, it looked pretty good. And the fact that the setting that they had, where it was out in the snow, I mean, you could definitely tell it was cold. You could see their breath and everything, and I love that. I love the reality of that. It didn't look like no stages or sets or anything like that. This looked like it was actually in a good outdoor setting and everything else. So,
I mean, the perfect location. The scenery sets the movie so much as well. I love how a good movie can use the scenery to complement the story to make just everything encompass together to blend together right.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
So I think that's huge because it adds the eerie like supernatural aspect of the story because they're out there in the country. There's the beautiful mountain. I mean, it's unreal.
and it had a common trope though in the beginning of a like an older like archaeologist scientist looking for something, and you've seen that in many movies before, so that was actually very familiar in the beginning. I was like, seems like a little familiar before. I've seen this before. Oh yeah, dig this. We're gonna dig this creature, the mummy. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of other things like that, but
Dr. Hammond.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Jurassic Park. I did like how he said that we are going to grave rob the biggest grave since King Tut and the pyramids or something like that, and I thought that was a cool line.
What'd you guys think of all the slaughter of the reindeer?
Rough.
Yeah.
That was rough. That was.
And the two skinniest ones survived.
Yeah, that's true. The old man did.
They just didn't have enough meat on them to eat, so they just let them go.
All right, so that's the thing that confused me. Were they eating that themselves? The Sandy's helpers, was that like their food? Basically, is that what they were doing?
They were starving. They had to eat something.
Okay, just from being basically in prison for the amount of time that they were, so they had to get something to eat.
Okay, so there was 100. What do you say? 148 elves.
Yeah, correct.
And what did they say? There was 400 and something reindeer. Is that what they said?
I don't know.
So.
I think so. It probably was. I mean, there was
In
a
other
lot.
words, every elf ate 4 reindeer.
There were some skinny ass old men for eating a lot of
I was
reindeer.
gonna say.
They must have a fast metabolism because those guys didn't have any fat on their fucking body, especially the main one. When I was thinking, and the thing is, that fucking fooled me. That fooled me because I thought that was Santa Claus throughout the movie. I was like, this is it? This is our Santa?
Right.
But it gets you right at the end when he's in the cage and the scientist guy comes up to him and says, "This isn't Santa. This is his helpers." I'm like, what the fuck? I was just like, I was shocked at that. That was a mind fuck for me. I didn't think that. I thought because when they had him and him smiling and everything else, I thought he was just like a fucking carnivorous Santa, and it's just Santa's little helper.
I love the eyes glowing whenever like he could tell something was about to happen.
Yeah.
That's true cinema right there.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Um,
His eye like glowed like almost like a yellowish color, like it shined yellow somehow.
yeah. What did you guys think of the interrogation scene? Because kind of skipped over that. So when they capture him in the the father and son, they capture him in the pit trap, and they bring the guy to the warehouse. What did you guys think of that whole like build up and like that whole like gravitas of the scene?
You're talking about the scene where he's on the table and they think he's dead when they took him out of the okay.
Yeah.
It was like I was like I was sitting on the edge of my seat basically. I was trying to like what the fuck's going on here? What is up with this guy? Now okay, he's alive. Then the guy with the blonde beard, what was his name again?
1 second.
It was like Ro or something like that. You said it was something with an R, I believe.
Uh, yeah, the Sisu guy. He's Ranu.
Ranu, yeah, Ranu,
Mhm.
and he just climbs up. He's the gingerbread cookies was funny. The fact that he was
Yeah.
just cooking on gingerbread cookies, and then you could see the little helper just like his nose, like
Start sniffing.
like he's like, oh, gingerbread. I'm a Santa helper. I need to have gingerbread, and he just fucking goes right at his ear. I thought he got killed, and then he just walks out with a bloody ear. It's like, oh, he's still alive. I was glad he lived because I actually liked his character, one with the sunglasses and everything. I actually enjoyed him.
I can't believe that while they were doing that, the little kid jumps down into the spike pit. It's like,
No.
here's this, here's this pit designed to capture things that fall into it, and this kid jumps into it.
Well,
I know.
those
like,
those
what the
spikes were
hell?
spaced out pretty good. And I mean, it wasn't that deep of a pit. Although I did like the whole scene where he was building the pit. I thought that was really cool. And he's in the mud and he's just putting the stake and everything else. A very old fashioned like system, but apparently it's illegal around that type of to do that. But back to the interrogation scene, I thought it was great. But then when you see him standing up in front of the fireplace and he's just not moving, but he's just giving that like fierce look, and he's not. It's like, what is going on? What is wrong with Santa? Because I kept thinking he was Santa the whole fucking time. I
Right.
was fooled. I was like, why is he doing this?
I was waiting for him to break bad on everybody. Just started fight. Just the way he was standing there and looking, it was like, he's just getting ready to kick somebody's ass.
That scene, him dangling with the chain around him, and that was funny. Just his look. He had this fucking look that I loved. It was great.
So I loved, I don't know if you guys, traveling to different countries, the Olmo, the guy that can speak English.
Mhm.
I love when you like different people talk language to each other, like his tone and like speaking English, so it was like threatening. So it kind of caused that reaction.
Yeah.
Even though he doesn't speak English, you could hear his tone, like, he was scared.
Mhm.
They don't know what the hell's gonna happen. So it sets that tone even more because it has the audience on the edge of the seat. They don't know what's gonna happen. So I thought it was just great filmmaking.
No, it was, and I was actually very happy that all of them survived too. I mean, it was really cool because they kind of made their own little company at the end, which is jumping to the end. But
Right.
I thought that was really, really interesting, and how you figure that one, it was gonna be one here, one die here, and then the father and son are gonna be left. But no, all of them survived. All of them survived. The only people that died were the people on the top of the mountain that were all when they were exploding the whole thing. I mean, that scene where you just see the helmets thrown around and everything, whew, fucking crazy. Fucking crazy, but
That's because they finally listened to the kid.
I know, right?
the kid was smart.
The kid completely takes over. It's just like, okay, we're going to listen to this 8-year-old.
No, that kid was smart as fuck. I mean, and you know what? He had that little friend with the fucking feather earring in his ear. The other kid when he was on the snowblower, and he blames himself because he made the hole in the fence and everything else. But the kid really took over there, and he even says, Dad, you need to, spank me because I did this and that. I mean, he's a tough kid, and he knew that he did something wrong. I really liked the whole chemistry between him and his father. I thought that was really, really good. I was a little confused about did he lose his wife or something? Because there was that scene where during Christmas Eve where he was sitting at the dinner table and he was crying. Was that about his wife?
Yeah, it's not explained what happens to his wife. But yeah, it's heartwarming. Like you can feel that, the chemistry, kind of like Sammy's episode from Pumpkinhead.
Yes.
Get that element as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, the kid's story arc is fantastic. Where he comes from, wearing the hockey pads and the duct tape on his butt. Just
that was funny. And he had that on the whole fucking movie too. That's the thing. It's like this like he wrapped cardboard around his ass and then just duct taped it to him to give him some extra armor, basically. And then he had like a hockey helmet or something like that. Or
right.
Or it was great. I really thought the kid did a good job. I was very impressed with the kid, and for as young as he is, the acting skills were really good, and even with the Finnish language and everything, I enjoyed him. I was curious where he was going, and he turned out to be a tough little kid, and to the point where he was commanding the adults what to do. And I fucking,
Yeah.
what the hell's going on here? Because the ending was like a mind fuck. I was like, what the fuck? Especially when they're when they bring the helicopter down with the I guess it's a scientist, right, or an archaeologist.
No, he's a no. I don't know what his role is. I think he was the one that did the
I think he was more of the money guy that was funding the entire thing.
Yeah, but he seemed to
He was
know
trying
a
to
lot
get-
of the history. He kind of reminded me of John Hammond from Jurassic Park. That's what he kind of reminded me of.
but he's dead though. The guy flying the helicopter?
No, the one that noticed that it was Santa's helper.
The old guy.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, he was
he's
a-
dead to me.
He
so.
was the one in the beginning of the movie that
I got you.
Yeah, but he got killed easily by, I think, one of the helpers or something like that. He got killed right after all of a sudden you
Pick
just see him around
took a-
surrounding them.
Yeah. Took a pickaxe to the head.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, the movie was violent, but not too violent. It was a lot of stuff seen off screen. I guess really the only way this movie could be PG-13 if it didn't have all that fucking naked men. I think it could have easily been a PG-13 movie. That was a lot of nudity there. But I know I keep going back to that. That sounds pathetic. But I mean, seriously, it's the fact that it's what really like what the fuck moment in the movie, because I was not expecting that in a Christmas movie. But it was a very tame movie. It wasn't really, bad. I mean, I can let my daughter watch this. I just have to cover her eyes on certain scenes. That's all. I mean, other than that, there wasn't any bad language or anything like that. It was I wouldn't say a family Christmas movie, but I can see this. I can understand you saying how this is a father-son. So I assume you're going to watch this with your son, and let him cover his. Well, you said you did all the way up to till you saw him naked peen and all that stuff. But
Yeah, I had the advantage of knowing what was coming. So
Right.
well, what did your son think of it all together from what he saw? I know you said that you thought the Krampus character was like massive compared to what he saw in the other one. Did he enjoy the movie? Did he enjoy the kid?
he was more fascinated with the language, and like he was on the edge of his seat. Like he was curious. Like he kept asking, like, what's gonna happen? I'm like, you gotta watch the movie. Stop asking questions. So he was blown away by it. Like he loved the story. Like, so the kids they just have one concept of Christmas, whereas this, Santa Claus comes to bring you presents.
Yeah.
So now
Right.
I've shown him two different movies where he's getting punished if you're bad for Christmas. He's like, try to get that in his head,
Hey, don't be naughty for Christmas. Krampus is going to come and get you. Drop you in hell.
Goot's working the subliminal angle with his kid here.
Oh, yeah, that's good. man.
Master of psychology.
Yeah. These now the father and son, they were actually really father and son, right?
I don't know.
I think they are.
I mean, they had the chemistry that it did seem like they were. Or it's just they had really good
think
chemistry.
that they were truly, if I remember right, that they are actually father and son.
They are father and son. They have the same last name. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
father and son.
No shit. See, that's
Yes.
great. I love when movies do that. There's only been a few movies that actually do that. I know one movie that did that, even though I can't stand him as an actor, but Will Smith and his son did this movie called In Pursuit of Happiness, where he actually had his son with him. And it's actually a really, really good movie based on a real character. So the fact that whenever they can get a movie with a father-son and it's actually a real father and son, they work off each other, it works a whole lot better. So that probably added to the story, making it better and seem more realistic instead of being like fake acting and everything else. So that's actually a strong, inclusion of having his, real son in there.
Yeah.
You see, you brought that analogy up. I haven't seen a Pursuit of Happiness. I've seen After Earth.
After Earth was the other one. God, that was bad.
Yeah.
After Earth is bad. After Earth
Yes.
is bad. That's a Shyamalan film, actually, I believe.
Is it
And-
really?
Yeah, it's a Shyamalan film. It's when he tried to do something more different than what he normally does and went into a futurist. He also did The Last Airbender, too. He's done a couple films that are off his type of genre, but no, the In Pursuit of Happiness, good. If you ever have a chance, see it. It's actually a very good movie. It's a very heartening. If you think a good father-son movie, that is a good father-son movie. It's worth a watch. It's a very good movie. Yeah, going off the subject there. Sorry about that, but no, I seriously think this the acting between father and son just made it a whole lot better. Like that even spiked it up more. I enjoyed that. I do have a question though, and it's not about this movie. The movie Sisu.
Sisu.
All right, Sisu. Is that good? Because I've never seen it and I've wanted to. Is that good?
Fantastic. It's just the good guy. I mean, it's a good movie with this one guy who goes against the Nazis, and it there's a few moments where you suspend belief. You have to suspend belief
Yeah.
on some things, but it's worth a watch. It's fantastic. I enjoyed it a lot. Have you seen Adam? Have you seen that movie?
No, I haven't. I'm looking at the IMDb it for right now.
I own it.
Gotcha.
I own it on a I think a copy of it. I just never gotten a chance to watch it. I there's a lot of movies I need, like Long Legs. I know I still have to watch that one too, and some other stuff. I just haven't had a chance to watch it, and I should have more than enough time because I'm currently out of service because of my injury. So I do need to watch it. But after seeing this movie, it makes me want to watch it now even more because the directorial effort of this movie actually it's a good job for a debut of a longer film because his other films were short films. Although Big Game, was that a longer film?
Yes.
Okay. I see, and have you seen that one?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. See, I assume you'd actually want to go out and see it since you saw this one.
So yeah, one thing that kept like torturing me, when Oni, his son, he would say Hisu for father in Finnish. I kept waiting, like, say Sisu, just say Sisu. Like,
That would be
we
funny.
need him. Not
That would be funny if he did that. Oh man.
so that kind of drove me crazy. But I mean, it was all fun. But yeah, um, jeez. So is this a movie that's rewatchable for you guys?
Okay. Oh, so I was thinking
Yeah.
about this the day I saw this. The day I saw, see, Sammy watched this and she thought it was kind of, that's what she thought. I said to myself, I said to her, it was something different. It wasn't something that's been redone. It's something different, which is I give credit for. Is this something I can watch over again? I did say this was a one and done, but I actually was talking to Adam about it earlier, I believe, and I said I think I can watch this again, maybe 5-7 years down the road, and maybe give it another chance. But I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it also. So it'll get to when I get to my pint review, but I'd watch it again, and I would recommend people to watch it. Like when the other guys, we got our scheduling all, Christmas has been crazy and everybody's been pretty busy for Christmas. And the other guys knew about this. He was like, I've never heard of that movie. Although Stu has, I know Stu has and everything else. But
Yeah.
when Goot pronounced this movie or said this movie that he's going to do is like rare exports. And, I look at the poster and it's like, looks like a kid wearing all the armor like he does. And, them all just standing in line in the white background with a cage. I'm like, the fuck is this? But then I've seen it before. Like I've seen the poster, maybe I've seen a picture or something like that. But no, I was wrong. I've never seen anything about this. I was expecting something completely different. I was expecting like a shopping mall or something like that, and this is not what. It was completely different from what I was thinking. Because there's been so many.
I had no idea what to expect.
Different Christmas movies, but I'm actually glad I watched it. I'm glad it's like I said, it's a different take on a Christmas tale. I'd watch it again. So yeah, there's my answer. Sorry, that was a little long for my answer, but there you go.
No, it's a good story. Little glitches here and there, but other than that, I mean, it is a different take on the Santa Claus story. And yeah, I would recommend people watching it, and yeah, I would watch it again.
Awesome.
How about you?
Oh yeah, I've watched it 3 years in a row now. Ever since I heard about it.
So this is one of your yearly traditional movies to watch every Christmas.
It's on my rotation for Christmas.
See, God damn it! Everybody gives me shit about my traditions, but Goot does the same thing I do. Nobody gives him shit. I get all this shit. Stu, I mean, seriously, Stu and then says you and your fucking traditions of like you have a fucking movie for every month of the year. I'm like, so what? I like movies. That's what I do a podcast about movies. So of course I watch movies over and over again. I mean, would you agree, Goot?
What's your January list?
My January list. I watch Everest. I watch Everest. I watch Cool Runnings. I like a lot of winter movies. Believe it or not, you're gonna probably laugh at me. The Cutting Edge. I like that movie. It's a good movie.
That's a good movie.
Cutting Edge is a good movie.
I kind of like that.
Winter Olympics and stuff like that. I watch a lot of horror movies in February. February is a big horror movie for me. Like I watch Scream and urban legend types, those type of movies in February. It's just for some reason February is the horror month because Christmas is over with and it's not the popular month, so they try and put all the horror movies out around that time between February and March and stuff like that. Every Easter I watch the Ten Commandments. with Charlton
Same here.
Heston. That is a
Yes,
tradition
I
that's
do
been
too.
with me even before Chad Dukes and I knew about them and stuff like that. That's always been a tradition with me. And I even watch Ben-Hur too.
I've done
Yeah.
that since I was 8 years old.
Yeah. It's a classic. It's a great movie. It's
It
one
is.
of Charlton Heston's best. In fact, everybody likes Ben-Hur, and I love Ben-Hur. But the Ten Commandments, that's a number one for me. And I've always loved Charlton Heston, even the original Planet of the Apes. That's one of my top sci-fi movies. I love the original Planet of the Apes. The remakes are fine and stuff like that, but the original. I watch. I have one for almost every month. I don't have one for a birthday though. You kind of gave me the idea to put one for my birthday now because I know you watch, No Country for Old Men. So I'm trying to think of a movie that would be for my birthday, and I think it's going to be the one that I'm hosting. I'm thinking that's going to be my birthday movie because you picked a Coen Brothers movie. I'm going to do my Coen Brothers movie or birthday, and it's going to be The Big Lebowski because
Nice.
I fucking love that movie, and I can't wait to host it.
Yeah, so I do No
Yeah.
Country and Inglorious Bastards. I don't know why. I love hearing like a movie with different languages and just hear Christopher Waltz, just the French, the German, the Italian.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I love hearing movies with different languages. It
Well,
always
that's-
gets me.
That's the funny thing is that this spring we're doing our foreign series where we're going to have every person on the show host a movie that is in a foreign language and subtitled only, which I think is going to be fun. And mine's is Apocalypto because I love that movie. I actually enjoy movies with subtitles. Like I said, it makes them more realistic, in my opinion.
Does anybody pick the movie Let Me In?
No. Nobody's picked Let Me In. But I know about it. I just have never seen. I know it's about demons, isn't it?
A vampire.
Is that the one with the kid?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. I wanted to see it. I just never had a chance to see it.
There's a remake with Chloe Martz Grace.
Are you?
There's a remake.
So the one that just came out like a year or 2 years ago. That's the one I was thinking about.
There's one in 2010 that's Danish.
Oh, so it's based on a foreign film.
Yeah.
So which one do you like better?
I like the original better.
And
Chloe Grace Moritz.
it's in complete language.
Yeah.
Well, shit, man. If you're up to the hosting job, you're more than welcome to do that. That'd be great. That'd be a good one. Like everybody's got to pick something with subtitles. There you go. And that's a horror movie. And if it's about vampires, it's got to be great. So
It's a good love story. It's a different take on it. It's pretty cool.
okay, cool.
But speaking of vampires, obviously this Christmas, I know Ron and I'll be doing a hot take on Nosferatu,
Oh yeah, I am.
the great vampire. So I'm so excited just to see Willem Dafoe in that accent, just kill it.
Yes, and the thing is I think what I'm planning on doing, and I think I told you, is that we need to watch the original too. I want to watch the original. I don't care about the Werner Herzog version. I want to watch the original, the one from the 70s, I believe, because they're both on YouTube. And it's on YouTube free. So I was gonna watch it the weekend before Christmas Day, like Christmas, because we're gonna see it. I think it comes out Christmas Day, I believe, and me and Sam are gonna see it the day after. So we'll probably record it that weekend, that Friday or Saturday or something like that, me and you, and knock that out. But I'm extremely excited about that. Get that hot take is gonna be fun because Goot and I have done some hot takes in some movies and they've been really good. We also have some other ones that we have planned that have been on the list that will get done here soon. I know we're gonna do the Shyamalan film. What's the movie called?
Trap.
Yes, Trap. Yeah, which I gotta watch again which I'd love to talk about that. So,
But I mean, shoot, we've covered every scene for the movie. I'm ready for pint reviews.
First, who would let their kid jump on a net and ride a net on a helicopter?
Okay. Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, see,
I would.
What, really?
Yes.
You would let your kid just grab onto a net and ride 100 feet in the air in under a helicopter with nothing holding him to the net?
First of all, that shit looks fucking fun as hell. That shit was fun to look at.
Oh, it was fun. And would I want to do it? Probably. But there is no way in hell I'm going to let my 8-year-old kid do it.
Well, just think of all the kids that were in the sack. Those kids must have been fucking cold as hell in those little sacks right there. Yeah. Just blowing through the wind and going through the mountains. That was a cool scene. I will admit that was a cool scene. Before we get to pint reviews, can we do favorite scenes? Because your favorite scene, because I think that would be fun. I'm curious what everybody's is going to be.
That would be that would probably be mine.
No.
Is the helicopter, the flight of how what everything the helicopter did with the kid on it, and the kid talking to the helicopter pilot and things like that. The interaction between the kid and the pilot was great.
You know what would have made it better if they had the music from Apocalypse Now playing in the background while he's flying through the mountains. Dun, da, 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 dun, da, 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 da. Just going through there
over a loudspeaker. Just blasting through the mountains with it on a loudspeaker.
I would say the interrogation scene was actually fun. I thought that was really cool with all three of the guys because I actually liked that whole group of guys. It was like how you see a lot of groups for movies where it's like the Goonies and stuff like that. This was like a group of men, and it was a very manly movie when it came to that. These three guys, and then they make this whole business with this child, with his son, on selling Santa Clauses around the country, that was a very interesting scene. Yeah. They were showering the Santas and then they were training them. And the guy was on a conveyor belt just going by and training them. This is what you do and everything else. And hold on to the kid and give the gift. I thought it was cute. It was a weird ending for the movie for what we just saw.
And I don't know if I'd want my kid to sit on one of those Santa's lap.
Yeah, because the Santa would be looking, he was like, just bite his fucking nose off or something like that.
They did not look like a Santa that I would want to go to.
But it did look like they could make a sequel to this movie. Like, I'm surprised they never made a sequel because it's like, Rare Exports Incorporated,
No, it'd be boring as hell. They killed Santa Claus.
They've killed Santa Claus. Where do you go from there?
Well, you never know if these Santa Clauses actually go a little haywire and then go crazy in the city.
Easter Bunny.
Something like that. What's your favorite scene, Goot?
I mean, honestly, I think when the group finds the dead reindeer, because they think it's wolves, and then they see the hole in the fence, and the guy turns around and says it must be Russian wolves. And just that the intensity building, like they're about to go up there and fucking kill these fools. Like it just goes from like 0 to 10 instantly.
Yeah,
because that's their livelihood. They're fucked. Like,
I thought.
So them going up there just ready to kill them. I was like, let's go.
Oh man. Oh,
so you got snow there. I would think you would be able to tell the difference between a wolf footprint and a human footprint.
Yeah, because it'd be a hoof.
I mean, it's like
for reindeer. Sorry,
wild looking wolves if they're human footprints.
Yeah.
But they didn't see that. That's why, hence the Russian wolves. But yeah, I find that's just that whole term.
There's got to be somewhere around there where there's a stray footprint different than that's just a human foot, a bare foot,
right?
Not even a shoe, a barefoot.
Well, the kids saw a footprint, so they had tunnel vision because they saw red. Like they just fucked us. So we had to get them back.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and get into pint reviews. This is this like I said, this was interesting. Adam, why don't you go first?
Enjoyment. I enjoyed it. It was a fun. Taking Ron thing worried about all the naked men running around.
It was a lot of naked dicks.
It was a fun movie. So enjoyment, I'd give it a 3.5. Like again, I'd definitely watch it again. Critical, 3.5 critical. There wasn't was it the best movie in the world? No. There were some glitches here and there, but the scenery was phenomenal. The scenery made the movie. The mountainscapes and things like that, it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
So yeah, 3.5 and 3.5.
And you would recommend this?
Oh, definitely. Yep.
Okay. Like I said, it was a big shock seeing this movie. It was intriguing. It was like, what the hell am I watching? Had smiling on my face, had a question mark over my head. I was like, what the fuck? And everything else. Good little shocks, things I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting the old men to be elves. I was not expecting elves. I was expecting like a bunch of Santa Clauses, but when he says Santa's little helpers, I was like, wow, okay. So old men are Santa's helpers, but it worked. I thought it was something different. I thought it was very interesting. I really enjoyed the chemistry between the father and son. I enjoyed the chemistry between all the guys together. Even the kid with his friend, the one with the earring in his ear and everything. I thought that was great. The scientist was a little rough. His acting was a little rough. The one with the American accent, I didn't care for his acting all that much, but he had the common trope of, somebody digging for somebody and trying to, get riches or, get some type of power, get the grave of Santa Claus basically and stuff like that. I wasn't expecting a Krampus type of, thing. I was thinking for like a Santa Claus. I remember, which is my idiotic thing, watching the trailer before I see the movie. You see the picture, you see the Santa Claus in the Santa Claus suit hanging and all that stuff. I'm like, that's gonna be the Santa in this movie. This is gonna be weird, but it wasn't ever that. That was just a helper. So that was a shock to my brain. I need to stop watching trailers because they fuck everything up. But overall, for enjoyment, I was gonna give it a little lower to review, but I'm actually gonna raise it up a little bit because that's the fun thing about our show is that we talk about things that we missed or things that we find out about it, and it makes it better. And I think it did that for me. So I will probably give this probably the same as Adam, 3.5. 3.5, which I believe is a good rating. I think 3.5 is still a good rating.
Yeah.
I was gonna give it close to like a 3, maybe even lower, but I still enjoyed some of it. But now knowing more about the history and knowing about the chemistry with the father and son being real father and son, that spikes it up a little bit more. And then the story and everything, it's a different take on A Christmas Tale of Santa Claus, and I thought it was great. So 3.5. Critical, it was a little rough on the CGI, but I mean, I can't really give that much shit for that because it's it's an independent film. They don't have a budget. The freaking, like I said in the middle of our show, the set was great with the fucking mountains, the whole outdoor, there's just the breath coming out. It was realistic. I love that. Even his house, his little room, his little pillow that he sat on where he was guard, which I did like that he had like a little stuffed dog that he carried around and dragged around. I thought that was cute. I thought it was really great. It kind of reminded me of Calvin and Hobbes, always bringing his tiger around, and he had this little dog with him. I really enjoyed the kid. I thought the kid and the dad's acting, so I won't give faults on acting on them, only the archaeologists or scientists, whatever. But everything else, the direction was really good. It did keep you on the edge of your seat trying to figure out what's going to happen here. I mean, nothing was to the point where you knew what was going to happen. It was good. So I guess for my critical rating, I would give it a, I'd say 3.5. I'm gonna be on par with Adam. 3.5 for this. It was not a badly made film. This was actually decent. They could work on some things here and there, but overall it wasn't bad. So 3.5, and I do recommend this. I recommend people, hey, you know what? You want something different? You're tired of the fucking, kid, child Christmas movies, Krampus. Try something different. Do something in Finland with some, father, son, and the Krampus character. It's good. Yeah, I'm going all over the place, but there you go. That's my review. Goot, stop laughing at me.
I was gonna say, Ron, letka här podcastia.
What the fuck does that mean?
I said you're terrible at podcasts.
Is that what you've been training yourself to say the whole fucking time?
I have so many different things I wanted to say, but I was like, I just let it go.
Oh, thanks, man. I am a terrible podcaster. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. I was having fun learning Finnish like 20 minutes before the show started, so I was like, I don't know. Google Translate's amazing. The things that we were saying, I was laughing. Priceless. But yeah, so my my finale. So yeah, right as compared to A Christmas Tale is a film that defines expectations at every turn. It takes a familiar, cozy myth of Santa Claus and just flips it on its head, giving us a dark, unsettling, yet oddly humorous tale about what happens when ancient legends turn out to be a horrifying real. So like what struck out to me the most was the balance of tones that so effectively, it's not just a horror film, nor is it purely a dark comedy. It's a mix of suspense, whimsy, the harsh realities of the rural life. The snowy Finnish landscape adds an incredible atmosphere, like I said earlier, emphasizing the isolation, just the vulnerability that these people have, because men don't want to admit it sometimes when they're in a situation like that. They can be vulnerable, they have to be on their guard all the time. So it's That just adding the father-son element to it just brings a whole new dimension and paradigm to the movie.
You said better than I did.
So from the storytelling perspective, it's full of creativity. The idea of Santa Claus as an ancient, terrifying being, and the elves being as loyal, like feral minions, is a genius reimagining of the tale of the Christmas myth. The build-up is fantastical. If eerie discoveries escalate to full-blown chaos, it keeps you hooked until the explosive finale. Because like Ron said, if you watch the trailer, you have an idea what's going to happen. But then when you watch the movie, you're like, holy shit, like what the fuck is this? Like the twists and turns, just like it has you, like, you're invested. You're like, wow, what the heck's gonna happen next? And then just like each pivotal moment, like it's just you don't know what's gonna happen. So with that, my personal enjoyment for the film is a 4 out of 5. I love the uniqueness, how unpredictable it was. Yet there's always something fun about the story. It doesn't take itself so seriously. It delivers genuine tension, which I love.
Yeah.
The boy character Pietre, in particular, his character arc, just from a scared child to a courageous hero at the end. I mean, just for him to tell my dad I'm not coming back.
Right.
I mean, this hits you if you have a son or something like that situation.
But tell my dad what I did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, damn. Critically, it's a 3.5 out of 5. I think the concept's brilliant. I love films that try to reimagine something that hasn't been done before. There's a few areas where the film falters slightly. Just some of the pacing feels uneven. Some moments drag, and I felt like, but I could let it go.
Which is weird because it was only like 88 minutes long.
That's hour 20 minutes. Yeah,
it seemed longer than that. When I was watching this, it seemed a whole lot longer than that. But that's weird.
But yes, some of the scenes were inconsistent, but I mean, just the minor issues with it, just the grand scheme of things. I feel like that it didn't take away from the film's like overall charm and just the originality behind the story.
Yes.
But in the end, Where Eric Spitz is a rare gem of a Christmas movie. It's not for everyone. It's a dark humor, bizarre premise. It might appeal to the fans who have that ideal holiday movie in mind, but it's a fresh and twisted take on the genre. I definitely recommend watching it. Not for everybody, but I mean, definitely, give it a chance to watch. If you feel comfortable having your kid watch it, make sure they're a little older and mature enough to watch it.
Yeah.
And definitely look out for those elves on the shelves. You never know what could happen. But yeah, thanks for having me on the show. This was fun to host this, and don't forget to roll out the trash cans.
Oh yeah, no, seriously. And this is, I will say, this is better than A Christmas Horror Story from last year. That one was a little rough. I enjoyed this one better than that one. So thank you, Goot, for hosting this show. This was so much fun. Adam.
Yep.
Thank you guys for joining us for this excellent show on Rare Erg Sports, our last Christmas episode next to the Secret Santa that we're doing next week. But this is our last for movie review. And then we will be having a end of the year episode, but it's not going to be a Christmas movie from dusk till dawn, one that Stu's going to be doing. So that's going to be an interesting one, hitting another Tarantino and Rodriguez flick. So I hope you guys also make sure to press like on our video, and also comment if you have any questions, or if you what you liked, or if you see the movie, what you think about it. And also seriously, also check out Goot. He's also on other show on the Beer Network for Body Wrong and Triple T Tuesday. Am I right?
It's Beer Law Studio on YouTube. It's the Time Traveling Trio.
Yeah,
Triple T. We pick a year, we cover music, movies, and just random stuff.
Yeah.
Body Wrong, you never know what could happen. I mean, I think the last show I was on, we were playing Smash or Pass with First Ladies.
Yeah, they got some interesting themes for their shows. Trust me. I remember you did like a fast food fries thing, and you also did some other stuff. But check them out. They're hilarious. Actually, a really fun listen. Good watch also. But that is the end of our show, guys, and we're gonna go ahead and sign off, and we will see you guys later. And also, oh no, I'm saying that too early, because if we Secret Santa will say that. But yeah, y'all have a good one.
Merry Christmas.
Later.